Yeah, Kate Lumbly.
And the fact that you know her, I won't hold that against you. You know, she's a good lady. She's
Yeah,
crazy. I'm so happy to see her coming out, though. I had a talk with
yeah,
her in Houston. I was telling her, you need to come out. I'm not saying she did it because of me. I just said, you need to come out. You just need to,
yeah,
you know, that's what everybody needs to do, really. But, uh,
yeah.
but Nina, it's a pleasure to meet you. We got 6 people in the
Thank
house.
you.
They're going to be
You too.
coming. We'll give it another 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are being suppressed pretty dramatically. I'm kind of surprised. Uh, it doesn't really fit, but it doesn't matter because we get a lot of replay action. But yeah, if you can share it to your page or to one group, that'd be cool. Just to
Okay.
kind of fight the algorithms,
Yeah.
all of us. I'll tag you
And
on. I'll tag you on the show. I think I can do that. Let's see. So, how long have you known Kate Lumbly?
yeah, that's what I was thinking about, and it's I think 4 years or something.
Really?
Because it was very surprising. I'm posting my artworks for a while, and then she suddenly reacted on a messenger, and she was very interested in the code I make, like language and number codes, and she picked up something on that, and she began to ask me about it, and then we talked, and so that's when we start to communicate, and from one thing led to another, and then yeah, finally I'm here now.
So
So that was
she saw
yeah,
your work
on
on
Facebook.
social media, yeah, and then
Yeah,
she reached out to you. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, she's a heck of an artist too, right? I mean,
yeah.
she really is in her own right.
She's very original.
Yeah, yeah. And how many people channel? Everybody channels Jesus and this and that, but she channels Dr. Seuss, which is
Yeah,
really cool. Which is really cool.
yeah.
So, how
It
about
was
you?
very,
How about you? How
yeah,
did you end up doing the things you're doing? Did you have a wake up experience?
yeah. I've I have a lot of initiations, so that's how I call it. When I was, I think, 18 years old, it was the first one, because then I got very much anxiety, and I didn't recognize myself, and I went to school at that time in high school, and I had very trouble to go to school because the anxiety was so strong. It was very strange experience, but now I know that was the first, yeah, awakening.
Yeah.
And later on, I got it another time. That's now in 2007, and it was very deep experience. It was very intense.
Right.
Yeah,
Sounds like a dark night of the soul.
yeah, yeah. It really was. When
Well,
I almost didn't survive, so to say. It was
right.
very, very intense.
Right.
So, but I came out. I came out of it, and then I was a different person. It wasn't suddenly, but it could gradually.
It
I
is
felt myself changing, and then I found out I was pregnant. So, and my daughter helped me to get right on track again because I had to be there for her.
what year was she born?
2010.
2010. Just in
Yeah,
time for the ascension.
yeah,
So she's what, 12? That's strange
yeah,
because we
yeah,
just had uh, a sister from Poland on, and
yeah.
she has a 12-year-old daughter.
Okay.
And her 12-year-old, I think she's 12. Yeah, she's 12, is teaching her a lot. That's what she was talking
Yeah,
about. And kind of the same thing. She was in a relationship, and it it went like that. but
yeah,
the daughter came from it. Yeah, it was
yeah,
very interesting to be talking to two Europeans with the same situation,
yeah,
one show right after the other.
yeah. Yeah,
So
that's
and then what year did you start doing the art? You do art.
yeah,
We're going to look at some of that
yeah,
in a bit.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Okay. Well, how when I was younger, I always was drawing. Always when I was 7, I had when my parents woke up, and then I had a pile of drawings. So I like to draw, but I was always observing nature. I was very fond of nature. I love to be in nature and the trees, and so that was always my love. And let me see, in 4 years, 5 years ago, then I started to take pictures of the sunlight, of the trees, but mostly of the sunlight. I got interested in the sun and the energy that was coming off it, and the light. And then I discovered on my phone, because I didn't use my phone very much, and now I do a lot. But then I discovered the mirroring the pictures,
Yeah, yeah.
and then I discovered more and more, and then I start playing with it, and so that's when I started. And then 2 years ago, I think, I discovered I could channel light language, and a year after that, I discovered I could channel number codes.
Number codes.
Yeah, and then I discovered I can see the codes in someone's energetic system.
Really?
So I could
Then
see,
the number codes?
and number codes, they just come.
No, I mean,
And
what codes can you see in somebody's field? Are they
yeah,
colors or
unfortunately, no.
like
I can show you.
use me as an example?
I can,
what can you see? Like, do you see numbers, geometry, colors,
geometry,
geometry?
geometry. Yeah. So
Can
symbols and light language, and then all in combination,
oh, I
and
see.
also
I see.
numbers.
Okay.
So I also make drawings, and then I draw a kind of characteristic of the body, not a real person. So very simple drawing, and then I draw the codes that I receive beside the body
Okay, I
of the
got you.
drawing,
I got you.
and then I can
So
do a reading for someone.
yeah, yeah. So your method of reading isn't like, hey, you're gonna meet a tall, handsome man on a white horse, and it's more like you
No.
look at their field and you do numbers, geometry, maybe light language symbols or whatever, and
Yeah.
that's how you. It's more like a like a picture,
It's a
like
yeah,
a photograph,
it's
like
a
a
snapshot.
portrait. Yeah, like a
Yeah, it's
portrait.
not a
Yeah.
snapshot, and it's a portrait, but then a childlike drawing. It's not that it's looking like the person itself, but
Right,
it's
right.
just symbolistic, and then the codes, and then I receive what is important for the person that I talk to, and it's all about the mostly I channel about the potential someone has
Okay.
in his or her blueprint. And the codes, when you look at it, they activate what is already inside of you, so you can um, connect with it more
Right.
easily. So all the stuff that's in the way is clearing
Right.
the
Right.
way, so you can pull it towards you, so you can connect with it and um, live your potential. It's a process, because when you look at it, it starts to activate, and I can make a print of it, and then you can put it
Right.
on your table or whatever, and then it works,
Yeah, you
and you
see.
can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people over the years. They do different versions, but it's like
Hmm.
they're taking an energetic photograph and showing it to the person. It's just a different way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And yeah, and there's some type of potential activation, just like within a say like a regular type of um, session. Like a
Yeah.
practitioner would do, like an energy worker, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's what
cool.
I do too.
And so, but some people I've seen do it, and they can't really tell you what it says. And
Hmm.
some people, like you, can tell you what the code says, right?
Yeah. I can. I'm a code translator, so to say, but I also do energy work, and then I can look in someone's system, and I can see where the organs and where there is a distortion or whatever, and then I can do a healing on that. So I do that too.
Very
But
cool.
the art
Very
is the
cool.
most important thing now. But I do it in a combination with a reading or healing or my voice. I do
Mm-hmm.
always also voice messages. That can be with singing,
Singing.
sound singing, yeah, and light language, spoken light language. And now
Wow.
I'm working on making videos of my artworks and then do my voice along with it, so you can get a combination.
Do you feel like that you're coming out like Kate is? Like, do
Now
you
I do.
do you feel like you're coming
Now
out? Yeah.
I feel like it's time now for me. Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
I feel it
Everybody.
very
Yeah.
strongly.
There's something about that, like the
Yeah,
individuality that
yeah,
people are, and it's a little bit messy as we try
yeah.
to fit.
You
As
can
you see
say that.
people going, no, that's my boundary, like, but it's starting to calm down,
Yeah,
and it's becoming more of like what you're seeing, what Kate's doing, what you're doing, what these women coming on the show are doing, which is they're stepping out in their own way and they're
yeah,
being seen.
yeah.
And even though
I
there's,
noticed that. Yeah,
yeah, like even though a part of them is, I guess, uncomfortable,
yeah,
they're doing it, and it's powerful. It's powerful to
yeah.
watch and be a part of.
And last week I had some old stuff and old feelings like the pain of not being seen and heard, and it was so intense. And I knew it's all coming out, all the
Do you?
old feelings and grief and all. Wow.
And I know that's been a real big thing, I believe, for women, and I
Hmm.
believe it will be for men too, when they figure out, as we figure out who we are, so then now we
Yeah.
can share it. Because what we were sharing wasn't,
Yeah.
all of us really had
That
masks,
would be cool. Yeah.
but yeah, like I don't know. There's just something about seeing this happen now, and it's so like off the beaten path. Like it's not like something everybody's can see. Like it's
Hmm.
not on the news, right? I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
movies aren't being made about women all
Yeah.
over the world who've been downloading stuff for 15 or 20 years and doing grid work and anchoring in sacred wisdom and like, but they're all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah. You hear it more often, but not on the mainstream media. But
No,
it's happening.
it's not even on the yeah. No, this is the story. The story is you and these types of people who have really, through the energetic field, been working with the energetic field, working with what we might call the non-physical,
Yeah.
and doing it quietly. And now it's becoming,
Poof.
it's time. It's time. Y'all were ahead of your time, basically. So now,
I feel some push, so
yeah,
you are going to, and
mm,
not uncomfortable, but it's not unstoppable. It's
right,
going to happen.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's inevitable. There's
yeah,
no two ways about it. Let go or be dragged.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I got the feeling, and I got my inner guidance, so to say, from it's all good. It's going to happen anyway. Don't
right,
worry.
right, right.
And it was very comforting. And I felt a couple of days ago, I felt, because I have a strong connection with nature, and then I felt two big arms, and I could rest in the earth and nature, and it's gonna be all right.
Right. Yeah,
That's new for me,
yeah,
that it was so powerful and that it was really true.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that the movement of the women, and again, femininity isn't just for females, right? I
Hmm.
mean, but because they're female in the female body, you see it with them, right? Like they've been leading these communities, such as Soulogy, for many, many years. They used to be 95% of every community. Now they're probably 70 in Soulogy. But so it's becoming, more equal, but
Yeah.
we still haven't heard from them, right?
No.
Like we're starting to hear from them now, and so like even like what you were talking about with not being seen, not being heard. Uh, I guess a lot of women have talked about this,
Yeah.
and I guess at some point, um, this point now or this past few months or I don't know weeks or whatever, more and more of them are stepping up. Do you feel like it's the masculine inside of you that's stepping forward, or both
Um,
together and she feels safe to speak, or how do you see that?
yeah, that's a good question because I was wondering it myself. I also always feel a very powerful source in me, that I always had that, even if I was a child, but I couldn't always show it to people because I felt so much. Then it felt strange that I felt so strong inside, and I not always could show it to other people. They thought, "Oh, a sweet child," but I thought, "No, I'm a strong person," and I felt very masculine. But
Mm,
on the outside,
right,
it
right.
doesn't show. So I thought, how is it possible? I don't understand. And then I was little. I wanted to be a man because I thought I want to be strong. I feel strong. Not that I want to change my gender or something, but I was always wondering, how is that? I don't understand. And later on, I could more accept my feminine side, and now I think it's coming together, just like you said, and that my whole experience of myself has changed. It's
Yeah.
more complete.
Is this,
And
would you say this is recent, like in the last year or two, or what?
yeah, I
Yeah.
feel a lot of energy in my belly that is more alive because I felt there's something missing, and I experienced a lot of violence and suppression in my youth, a lot of pain, a lot of grief, and now I feel it's the real me is coming back.
Wow.
I'm trying to explain something that is difficult to explain, but that's the way I feel it. Um, and parts of me that I suppressed or I somehow lost or whatever, I don't know how you call it, but they coming back to me. And that's a
Right.
very special feeling
Does it,
because last night I had in my belly, I wanted to feel where my inner child still was in pain. So I went to my body, and I always feel connection with my higher self and my spirit team, so light team, whatever you call it. And I asked, how can I let me see where it is and how I can be alive in my belly and my whole body. And then I feel a life force coming into my belly, and then it felt good. I thought, wow, this is supposed to feel like it.
wow.
And then yeah, I thought something is happening here, and in the back of my head it began to tinkling, and there's just a lot of going on.
This was last night?
Hmm.
Wow. Do you feel like something's, we've said this for a long time, like 2019, they said the solar flash was coming, 2020,
Hmm.
2021, 22,
Yeah,
and so on and so on. But do you feel like there's something huge about to happen?
yeah, yeah. That's what I feel. But I have had that for a while now. But I feel it's different since a couple of weeks. Then it
Yeah,
feels different, and it feels more nearby.
that's what I mean. I like you can always feel that something. The whole thing's been about that. Something's happening. We're not just here on Earth, and all of a sudden you get the whole. And now here it is, 10 years later, 2022. But yeah, it feels like tomorrow or the next day, or
Yeah.
like within a few
Well,
days, kind of thing, right? I mean, are you? Are
I'm
you? Are
thinking
you
because I'm always getting something when I think it is important. I have made a special for today artwork,
yes,
and when we are talking about it now, and I think, oh, I have to show this because
yes.
this
Let's
is
do
what I
that.
made, and that's about expansion, and I think it's about what's going to happen.
Uh huh.
Like, let me see. This is the artwork.
Wow.
So, and I made also a video of it, but I I didn't know how to show it today. So now you see. Let me do it the right way. You see the number codes, I hope, and the
Yes.
symbol of light language. And this is all about expansion. It's a bit trippy. And yeah, I can do a whole reading now, but this is how I work.
Uh-huh.
But this is all what is about to happen is about expansion, that we all are going to be in another space. I don't know how to explain it, but that's what
Here,
I feel when I look at this.
let's look at the video. Let's look
Yeah.
at the video. It's 2 minutes and 44 seconds,
Yeah.
and let's let the video explain. How's that? Is that all right?
Very
Okay.
cool.
Okay, let's do that. Let me get this out of the way. That's crazy how the light language, like, how did you do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a message within itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you would
It's
put
all
like,
together.
yeah, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, you would put a sentence together, and so you have, like, say, 10 words, or you
Mm-hmm.
just have one word or one letter, or maybe two or three, and the way they form is the sentence. It was weird. It was, I mean,
Oh,
weird in a
okay.
good way, very cool. That's
Yeah.
very
I
unique.
didn't.
I don't think anyone
I
else in
didn't
the
know that.
world's doing that, huh?
It's also I always when I do that I'm one with
Right. Of
source
course.
or
Yeah.
whatever, and
Right.
it's coming very natural,
Right.
and then I don't have to think about it, because then it's more difficult. So then it's streaming out, and then it just that is it. And I also do the singing, because I discovered that my voice has something. I um I call it a voice medium.
Can you do
Voice
some now?
medium.
You want to do some
Yeah.
now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me wait a minute. Uria saria kieruta siraki kurie sayuti Aria kurisia, aria tuka yawe, sanaki tu. Aria usi, aietu kanau, yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Do you know what the song? I always ask the little kid questions. Do you know what the song? Do you know what the song meant, or what does it feel like to you?
Well, what I know is that with the voice there comes different dimensions. So it's also always coming from I don't know where, because I can travel very far and then I can bring back the codes and the tones with me. But what this was about, I have to feel it now, because I can do both. Oh, it's a song for you. Maybe you can feel it in your heart, because I see the sun in your heart. I see a very bright light there. Now I see in front of me a face, and if the face is talking to you. I can see now that you can feel it in your body. I don't know how you feel it, but that's what I'm receiving. And it's talking through your heart. And now I feel that the voice is connecting your heart and your mind. And that's necessary for your work on this TV network. That's what I receive now. And and now I'm feeling very hot. Getting that you receive downloads to bring forward knowledge through your voice in your shows, just by being who you are. And now I feel very emotional. I feel something happening in my throat. And now I see a red gemstone that is given to you. And it's a bit weird, but I see it through your mouth, and it's being put here. I now feel something happening in my jaws. And now I see the face doing like this. He's thanking you, because it feels like a meal for your work. And it's a galactic being, and I see a lot of galactic beings behind him. They are assisting you in your work on this show. That's what I receive, and they're thanking you for what you do. That's
Wow.
what I receive now.
Wow, that was quite extensive. Thank you. That was really
Welcome. So that's what I do. That's
Do
how I
you?
work.
Well, this is what people need to see. Everybody's channeling in some way or another, and I guess as
Yeah.
we sustain ourselves in neutrality or 0 point field, I call it the soul highway, but then we're more of a free channel, and that's like we're all walking around conversing and communicating that way. Really, it's quite spectacular. So, do you have a real strong galactic connection?
Yeah, I feel different connections. I discovered that like I said, I don't know how you call it, tune in different levels.
You're like a cosmic switchboard operator.
Yeah, yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there's a medium aspect to it that comes natural to
yeah,
you. Yeah.
yeah. You can call me a medium.
Well, I mean,
I've always been.
yeah, like an aspect of it. Like I've met a lot of people, like not a lot, but like because there's a lot of psychic, qualities, but certain people seem to be able to plug in.
Yeah, but
To
I always had it as child already.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was a young child, I was I like to be in the nature. So, and then I remember, because I don't have a lot of memories because of my traumatic childhood, but
Right.
I remember when I was in nature, I felt one with God, and I just know that I communicated with the trees. I do that also now, but
Mm.
I didn't have that a long time. But I also know that I had connections with the Galactics. I
Right.
don't know exactly what kind of.
Right.
The Arcturians I know because I see them now. I have connections with them, and they do a lot with the voice. I had one experience when there were a lot of Arcturians and they're working on my voice, and I know that there were more people who have that experience, because our
Right.
voice
Right.
is a very powerful instrument to um, bring information and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah,
get that.
frequencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, could you sing in melody and harmony before you got the download? Before you started getting, downloads?
Oh,
Or could you sing? Let me
um,
just put it this way: could you
yeah.
sing as well before versus after?
Do you mean in my past,
Yeah, yeah,
or do you?
like in your past, if you want to go to karaoke, or you know what I mean, like
I
like
always
because I've
had
met
it.
some people, not too many, a few people. One of them's my friend here in Sedona,
Yeah,
Shakina Rose, where
yeah.
she talked about something very similar to where in her remembrance she was given, like for her throat and then her ability to what does she call it? Harmonic light language. It was
Okay.
something that wasn't turned on before. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. No. Now. I remember. When I was, I think 8 years old. I We were raised Catholic, and then we went to the church, and then we sang together, and that's what I liked.
Okay.
I was a member of a choir, and that's what I really loved, because I know now the frequencies like angelic kind, like, and I
Mm.
really loved the feeling when I was doing that. And later on, it's 10 years ago or something, then I went to a choir too, because I wanted to sing again, and didn't know where. So I just went there, and then we had a performance, and a friend of mine came to listen to it, and she burst out in tears, and she felt the energy coming from it.
Wow.
And then there were more people who told me, you have something special with your voice. And I heard it myself too when I was singing. There's Because I'm also not only clairvoyant, but I also can hear uh, clear. How do you say that?
Clear,
Hearing? I don't
clear.
know.
I think
The
it's
audience.
yeah, clear
Yeah,
audience.
clear
Yeah.
audience. Yeah. So I thought, oh, what's going on? I don't know, but I don't know. But then I knew, oh, there's something, but I don't know what. And it's all on. Okay, let me see. A year ago or something, or 2 years ago, then I discovered, oh, I can do it this way, not only with the spoken light language, but also with singing, and then it's a different
Right.
experience. And now I'm um, working on videos with the singing and the talking
Okay.
and the light language, the artworks, and I want to make a whole experience out of it.
Good for you. This is
Yeah,
what we all need to be doing.
yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah. Thank you.
You mentioned trauma,
Yeah.
and we can all, many of us can relate. But again,
Hmm.
I ask a lot of these questions because I know there's people that are going through things that others have gone through.
Hmm.
And trauma, of course, has been a big, big deal. It's the big, one of the big players in victim consciousness, and people are really having to deal with victim consciousness more than ever as the days go by.
Yeah.
But like in terms of, because you seem very well adjusted, Did it take you a long time to work through your traumas? Did you have to relive them? Did you have a way of bringing them into, like into an equality or neutrality? Did you have a way to do it? I mean, how did you work through that?
Yeah, that's a long was a long process, and still, because I'm now 53 years old, and still I discover wounds that I thought, oh, this is still inside of me.
Hmm.
But you mentioned Holland, but many people in Holland have to deal with abuse, and so have I, and violence. And my father was bipolar and
Hmm.
suicidal, so and my mother was a clairvoyant and an artist, so she was, yeah, it was not
That's quite a
a
combination.
common situation. Yeah, it was special. They were special combination, and they were both traumatized, and but it went very, very bad with my father. So we had to flee. We had to get away from him because it became dangerous, and then when I went out of my house, so I started to live on myself. Then I had to deal with it, because then I was not in this situation anymore, and then I wanted to, yeah, because when I was a little child, I was always happy and in nature and very happy to be alive. I'm in love with the earth and everything, so I wanted it back. How do I do that? And I couldn't cope with it at all in start. Um, I was a teacher at the high school, and I had a very, very difficult time because the children, they triggered me constantly on my inner wounds. And it was very hard for me to cope with that.
Hmm.
How to deal with that intense emotions. So I was still working on myself for how do I love myself? How do I lose that inner critic that's always saying not I'm not good enough and you are ugly and whatever. So and then when I started to work on myself, I discovered that the partner I was with at the time, that we weren't happy with each other, and I broke it off with him.
Hmm.
And then I met a woman who was a medium, and she um, made me realize that I am a light worker. And she taught me how I could heal people and how I could read people, and that how I could communicate differently, honest, and to cope with because when you are honest, not everyone likes that. So you have to accept that some people are reacting in a different, not a nice way, so to say. So you have to learn to do that. So then I started channeling for people, and in the meantime, I was working on my how do you say it? My fear of rejection,
Mm-hmm.
and that was very hard for me because when I started channeling for people and reading, I was so afraid to say the wrong thing. So, and that was 20 years ago. But the main thing is that I was a deep desire in me to want to heal myself, and there was always something that I could, a person or a situation that I thought, hey, I can go to that person and they can help me to see what I need to see or to feel what I need to feel. Because I started with therapy, but that didn't work. It was not for me. And when I finally came in contact with energy work, and that was what was
That's
the
what.
right thing for me. Yeah. Not only that I'm an energy worker myself, but I met energy workers that would help me.
Right.
And that that was an yeah,
And
it's difficult to say exactly what I did,
Right, right,
but the main thing was working on myself and be aware what was happening, and to be aware that things that I did weren't healthy,
right,
because I discovered that I was always working harder and harder to get approval. And I think
right.
that's so I got a burnout and all of that. I said, something not right. I have to do it differently because otherwise I'm going to be sick. So I wanted to know what is that. So I was learning myself. Okay, now I'm gonna sit on the couch and do nothing. Let's see what's happening. I had to do laundry. Oh no, I can sit. Oh, I have to do the garden. Not whatever. Oh no, I can sit real quiet. It was hard for me just to sit on the couch and do
Mm-hmm.
nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I put myself in a situation that I found difficult. So, and then I discovered what I did to myself. I was violent to myself.
Right.
There was a voice inside of me, you are not good enough and you have to do this and can't you do it already? And I thought, that's not helping me. How can I be my own best friend? And that took a really long time.
Mm. Yeah.
And to love
Yeah.
myself, how do you do that? So I started to um, train myself in the feeling of when you love yourself, how does that feel? Does it feel love myself? How can I feel it in my body? And at first I didn't know how to feel that.
Mm.
And then I trained it and trained it and trained it. So, and then I felt what it meant. And then I started, because I had trouble trusting other people. So then I started trust. Can I feel trust? No, I don't know how it feels, huh? And then I started training, how does that feel, trust?
Mm.
And then I made it bigger, bigger, bigger. And then I knew when I was in front of someone and I didn't feel trust, I tried to pull back the feeling of trust in my body so I could train myself to do it differently, or to feel where I couldn't trust. So that's how I train myself, and with the help of my guidance to work on that, and with help of other people
That's
and
that's a
yeah,
good. That's a
everyone.
yeah. That's. I mean,
And
like like sitting with trust and sitting with not trust. I mean, like that's you're zero pointing. Yeah, that's.
yeah,
And you're right. I guess the process is still ongoing too. I know these last few weeks have been pretty intense. Did you have
yeah,
anything come up these last few weeks?
yeah. The main theme for me is surrender, because you can sometimes you can kid yourself that you do that, and then you discover, oh no, there's something in me that's still holding back. And in the last few weeks I discovered where I was holding back, because I didn't if I couldn't really surrender. There's a peace in my heart. Ooh,
Yeah,
I'm
I can
free.
surrender. I can surrender, but
Yeah,
remember that thing that happened to me.
yeah. Oh,
But
it's so scary.
it's like saying I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's been a real cleansing the last
yeah,
few weeks. It
really
really has.
purging. And but it's always also because when you feel pain or grief, then I feel it burning inside. But then after that, because when you are able to feel it completely, you're not trying to stop it, because I was used to, because I didn't know what to do with it. I thought, oh,
Right.
I don't want to feel it. I'm going to do some tough stuff or whatever. And now I know, okay, I'm going to sit with it. I can often make it even bigger, so that then I
Yeah.
give permission to get
Yeah.
it fully come out of
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and then I'm still safe. Don't worry,
Yeah. I
and
get
let it
that.
come. It's
Yeah.
okay, okay, let it come, and then I sometimes feel proud that I can feel it completely,
Yeah.
and then I help myself. That's our helping thoughts to experience it fully, and then it's subsides, and then it goes away, and then I
Yeah.
know, okay, this wave is over.
Yeah.
I have done it. So, but then after that, just like you jump in the very freezing cold water, then it's also tingling body, and when you come out of it, I feel like I'm have more space inside, and that's
Mm-hmm.
also when you
Mm-hmm.
have such a intense experience of that emotion. And I also experienced, because I had a lot of lessons, hard lessons, when you feel fear, when you go into it, it's a portal to a new way of dealing with things like you did before. When you accept that you are afraid and you're not in your monkey mind and make it, "Oh, I don't know what
Yeah.
to do," but you
Yeah.
are going, oh, this is fear. I'm going to feel the fear. I'm going through it. And then you see what you have to do or what's behind it. It's a portal,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps me. Oh, it was really hard because I remember one time it was very intense. I couldn't wait. I had to act, so I had to go through it. And then I knew the step I'm taking now means that the lesson I have now will never come back again, because this was it. Because I faced it, now I don't have to deal with this situation anymore. And then I discovered how it's a portal, and that had to do with authority, because in my work I always met my bosses, and they were always very, how do you say it?
Assholes.
Yeah, especially to women. Well, so I knew, that's a lesson for me. How can I stay in my power,
Right.
my authenticity, how do you say it? And then without putting up a fight.
Right.
I had
With
to learn that, because I always thought I have to fight for my right or something, because I always got angry, because I felt this isn't good. I have to say something. But then I discovered, oh, I don't have to do that not at all. Because
so
when I fight, the other one fights back, and you don't
right,
want
of
to fight.
course.
You want to
Yeah.
um, get, or you go that you can come out of it together. But sometimes it isn't possible,
Right.
and then you can say nothing.
Right. Right. Yeah,
And
it's like you handle it. Yeah, it's like that thing. It's somebody hits you. It doesn't matter because if you
yeah,
hit them back, you know what I mean, energetically, then it just goes on. But if you
yeah,
don't, and that's what it sounds like what you did. You said, okay, I'm gonna be. What did you say? I'm gonna be in my power.
hmm I'm going
I'm
to
gonna
be in my
find
power.
another way to do
Yeah,
this and be in my power and grow my power. And sometimes that
yeah,
means saying nothing, I guess. And
yeah,
sometimes
yeah. Because
yeah,
it's I discovered it's also a kind of ego that wants to prove you're
right,
right,
right.
or to defend, or and it's also a defending mechanism to be angry
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want the other to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
But then you stay in the same loop.
Right,
But
right.
when you say, okay, do your thing, but I'm not going
I will
to do
not
the same.
participate. I
Yeah,
will not participate.
yeah, and that doesn't mean you have to let someone do whatever he likes or something. But
Right, right. You well,
um,
you remove yourself if you have to. I mean,
yeah, and you
uh,
can do that with your body talk, and you can look the one right in the eye so that the other can see. It doesn't have any effect. Hmm? Oh. And then you see in the eyes of the other, what is happening? And then it's over,
mm-hmm.
because there is nothing to fight anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then
and
I discovered, okay, when I'm in peace with myself,
right,
I don't um, give others uh, the opportunity to fight with me, because there is nothing anymore.
right,
And that was a great discovery for me. So, because I didn't realize that the violence that was in me invited violence in
right.
my environment, and then things changed, because I didn't have asshole boss after the pandemic.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, it's like, but you just hit it. Like, you can't be a human being and not have any and all of it in you.
Hmm.
It may not come out the way it does with some people. It may come out, it may not come out at all. It may be suppressed, right? But you're still acting, right? So, do you feel like that this, uh, do you feel like that more and more people are starting to come into this understanding of what you just described about how we can a new approach in our power, a new approach to responding to things like that. Do you think that more people
Yeah.
are getting there?
Well, I don't know because recently I started a job in a high school again, and then it's a different environment than when I'm talking to people who are on the spiritual path with
Hmm.
growing consciousness, because it's on other kind of talking about it. Then you have to level and you use different words, but I see a difference in how people are thinking about it. Also after COVID, because I see a lot of change in people's way of how are you how do you say it? When you are with people, how do you do that? And with COVID, there are a lot of people who stayed home.
Right,
So
right.
my husband was always at home, and he wasn't at home at all, or not. Um,
Until
oh,
COVID.
yeah, and then with our children, maybe he was working, but he was at home. So the whole situation changed, and I saw the relationship with my children was becoming closer. And I see now a lot of people think, I don't want to go to the office anymore. It's it's better when I stay home. And
Mm-hmm.
you see that people are thinking about, why did I do that 5 days a week
Yeah,
in the traffic, all that stuff, and
yeah.
it's not healthy.
COVID was a
Yeah,
big, huge gift, wasn't it? I mean, really. I mean, all the with what you're saying,
in that way, yeah.
like people are,
Because
yeah,
yeah, people are thinking, what am I doing? What do I want with my life? And so that's what I'm seeing.
yeah.
Not with everybody, but something's changed. And the way the people, the working people are, and the bosses, how the relation is. You can treat people like machines, because
No,
when they are not treated well, the
they're
work
not.
isn't done well too. So
Yeah,
yeah.
they're gonna need robots because nobody's gonna participate anymore. Here
Hmm.
we go. Cool, very cool. So, yeah, you're expanding what you're doing, and you work with people. Um, and are you excited about 2023?
um, Not especially because of the year, but I'm feeling something is happening to myself. I'm going to show you something, because that's an image that I'm seeing. It's a key that I'm working on now.
Let me see. Hang
I
on.
always work with the sunlight, and this is also a mirroring, and I do also distortion function and all of that, and then artwork comes out. I'm working on the light codes of this, and then I see uh, that we are unlocking something new, and that we are experiencing something that has never been experienced before, and that brings a lot of the unknown, but it also is unlocking something. So it's a, so to say, good thing, but it's also scary, and that's what this artwork is about. And you see, I have a lot of artworks with golden light, and there's a lot of gold now, right now, and gold stands for potential.
Mm.
And I discovered that the sun contains information too, and the sun is transmitting um, more and more, or other maybe frequencies than before. It's stronger.
Mm.
And I also received the sun people because I saw them. I had an experience when they came out of the sun literally and gave me a message.
Really?
So
Are
the
they? Are
sun is
they?
all,
Some people talk about golden beings. Are they? Were they
yeah,
gold? Oh, they were.
that's what, yeah, and I saw them. So they are with us too, and the sun is a powerful instrument for us. And the powerful thing is also that it's without words. And I think we are evolving in communicating with each other without words, not even telepathically, but with frequencies. That's what we're
Mm.
doing now also, because we are
Yeah.
energetic beings, how do we say it? But that's going to change,
Yeah.
because I discovered that the words we are using are triggering in our minds the old loops of thinking and behaving. But when you use light language, or um, when you are aware who you are transmitting different
Right.
frequencies. So that's why um, the growth of consciousness is so important, because we literally change the world if we do that. Because it changes the way we look at things, it changes the way we think what is normal. So it is a wave of literally of change.
Hmm.
And the sun is helping us with that.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm making light artworks.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, do you want to do another something or whatever before we get out of here? Do you want to do whatever you want to do? Light
And then
language, a
what do I want to
song.
do? A song. Yeah,
What do
that's
you feel
good.
like? Yeah, I
I
like.
think,
Yeah, that was very unique.
yeah, that's, I'm going, how do much, how many time, hoe zeg je, how much time do we have?
We have about well, as long as you want.
Okay,
We're good.
then I'm going to prepare, because I
Yeah,
sometimes
prepare.
I quit too soon, because
No,
then I get
no.
comfortable, but that's not
Take your
necessary.
time. Take your
Yeah,
time. Just take your time. I'm gonna turn my volume off.
and maybe the audience can feel it, because I wait till the energy is coming down, and then there's a touchdown, and then I know it's time. I can feel it now. It's a force field, and I'm waiting until it's going to my feet. And now I see an Arcturian coming. Uisiru kirania turati wata. Isariatuki. Irarisiriu. Narati turukui. Shumaritire sana. Uzi. Hayaratan yokuritariata. Hasikiti nanarie. Hatikini tarahati konara. Sumatikimiati ratikanari korasaniatete. Hatimie. Siura. Urisa. Maria tu kiara uturisu. Itautana. Sinaturiati. Urakiatu. Shinam. Ariokusa. Nayariatitie. Narapukihesa. Suyata Niesa. Sukena shukuretea so kenetaria sukonorati iene au erata karietu sane au tiena Urieta kisena itana siatani kera chire sitarie uchana tisiri uratiana kurusi ayapurie Shuratikini huturati kena sukuruchini herekamie urkutura rukama shikini jiri kirati sona hatiki utana kikine rasikini suku kiratikini kurakatikane Sita Aniaturu tie Sunatiete Ariatura Sana Chiratu Sinakiti.
It's very powerful. Awesome. Yeah, very awesome. Thank you, Kate Lumbly, for setting this up.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
We'll have to do this again after the first of the year. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really
Me
enjoyed
too.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, and all blessings to you and your family, and good
you.
luck with what you're doing. I know you're going to do great, and we'll catch up with you down the road.
Okay. It'll be nice.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.